This is the Zac Anesbury Show.
Welcome. Today's podcast clip comes from an interview with Julian Major from Visit Victoria. We're doing our summer vacation scholarship at the time, which must have been about 10 years ago.
Yeah. If you're going to ask me any questions about that, I'm going to struggle a little bit to remember, to be honest.
The only part I remember is we were all sitting in one room, which is now one of the visitors' offices. And we were kind of sat there and we were doing our own little research projects. And I was looking at duplication of purchase sort of stuff, and no one was looking at the same thing. And it was kind of like the door would open, we'd turn around to see who was getting selected, and Jenny would come in and she'd gather you and take you away. And it was quite funny. But yeah, then we ended up, both enrolling into a Masters by Research.
Yeah.
So you ended up doing that with the Ehrenberg Bass Institute. I know Professor Jenny Romanek was your supervisor. Was she your only supervisor, or did you have someone else?
Magda. Magda was my master's. Yeah.
Of course it was. Yeah, I should have revisited your thesis and had a look.
It's a good read. Highly recommend it.
Yeah, I mean, it still gets cited, so that's pretty good.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. If you have a look at some of the new institute stuff, or we still cite some of the research that you're doing. So did you want to explain to people what your research was about?
It's going back a fair way. My master's thesis is actually acting as a rest for my laptop at home to prop it up, because we've been working from home for so long. So I did flick it open recently because of that. My thesis was on distinctive assets. Was always really super interested in the advertising research component of marketing and what Ehrenberg Bass did, and find the ideas of branding super interesting, and distinctive assets I think was the hot topic at the time, and I think it probably still is to some respects, and still get a lot of interesting questions about distinctive assets, whether it was in my last job at a research agency across different clients, or even in this current role. So I was super interested in that general field, and my topic was around the role that distinctive assets have to play in not just as branding devices, which I think Nicole's thesis covered incredibly well, in that they play a really good complementary role in boosting correct brand recognition. But beyond that branding role, can they play a role in being really effective attention-grabbing devices, with the idea that there's potentially a double benefit of distinctive assets, because they can be used creatively, so they grab your attention, and they do the job of branding as well, because the brand name itself isn't something that's overly sexy. A lot of advertising agencies will have, I suppose, they're not always keen to put a lot of direct branding in, so it was sort of exploring that concept of how much do they grab people's eyes, and does that differ across the different sorts of distinctive assets that you can employ in advertising. So I think we looked at things like slogans, brands, characters. I can't recall if we did music, but I remember doing a research paper around music as a distinctive asset or a branding device. So I think we found that the answer was yes, that they can play that dual role. It's another selling point about investing long term into consistent distinctive assets, in that it's boosting your correct brand recognition, which is often a really difficult thing to move, and it's doing so because the eyes are going to the brand character more so than the brand logo, which is, I suppose, sometimes tucked away in the bottom corner at the end of an ad.
It was it was a cool little piece of research, actually. I remember thinking you had a great topic at the time with when you were doing masters.
And it was good, yeah.
That was, I think, 2011 maybe to 2013. And as you'd imagine, that's 7 more years of research and development that Jenny's undertaken. And there's a few other theses going on in the area and what other people have looked at. So I can't tell you a huge amount because I'm not part of their supervision teams. It's really not my area. But one person's looking at, the prominence of each distinctive asset on, say, a pack, and then whether that increases recall and or correct brand recognition. Other people are looking at the ability or the necessity, or whether it actually occurs, of like a parent brand with sort of sub brands. So if your color is green and then you have a variant of it that's blue, what's sort of happening there? I'm not across any of the results of that research because that's Jenny's area and I'm not so much in that research, but there's so many fantastic things that are coming out of that area. And it's really taken off.
Hey guys, it's Zac Anesbury here with just a couple of quick reminders. If you've enjoyed today's podcast, then make sure you subscribe so you never miss an episode. There are plenty more interviews to come with some of the world's leading marketing academics and practitioners. You do not want to miss these. In the meantime, if you're looking for another way to connect, then follow me on Twitter at Zac Anesbury. That is ZACANESBURY for my take on the marketing issues of the day.